Wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I bet not say you're not a man.
That's it.
David Bailiff told us that if he died right now, the 05 season would be heaven.
I'm back. I'm excited to be back. I started this journey at this great university in 1976.
1976 to 2023, a guy that I have really just gravitated to, love his storytelling, love what he's done to with young men and just people in general. And it's very rare that you find somebody these days that they love a certain place at an early point in life, and they're able to return to that place. For David Bailiff, that's Texas State, was Southwest Texas. If you're watching or listening to this in another part of the country, Coach Bailiff, this is long overdue. It only took a few years, but I am so glad to have you inside the man cave.
Me too. I tell you what, thank you for having me. It's an honor. I'll do whatever I can for you. Hope you know that. And you getting back into sports. It's got to be time for you too.
100%. And it's our relationship. This is funny. It dates back, I want to say, back to my media career. I was in, I think, the second of four jobs I was in East Texas for back then, old Southland Conference, Southland Football League media days. We would meet in, Humble or Kingwood, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I can tell you this. We go so far back, you had a head full of hair and I was skinny. A long time.
The follicles were plenty then. Hey, Coach Bailiff, man, back then he looked like he could play still, and God, those were great times, man. And it's I'm glad we're able to stay connected. But the journey for you, for everybody, how do you return home? And this is home. I mean, you were born and raised in a different part of Texas, but you played college ball at then Southwest Texas, got into coaching at Southwest Texas, and then you went on to other areas. But the path to return back to San Marcos, how do you sum that up?
First off, I have nothing but great respect for GJ Kinne, the new head coach. And back when I was the head coach at Rice University, he was the starting quarterback at Tulsa. And his senior season, I wrote him a letter, tell him how successful his career was going to be, because he checked every box as a man, as a competitor, character, and, knew he was going to have nothing but success in his life. And he went on to the NFL, but every summer he'd bring his brother to my quarterback camps. And so we know each other. And when he called and asked me, would I have any interest in coming back and being a special assistant and helping him out, I jumped at the chance. I was a head coach for a long time. It's somebody else's turn, and they have a great man in charge here that I love helping.
And we're going to learn more about GJ Kinne. I still remember him when he was playing for his dad, I believe, in Canton, Texas.
Right.
In East Texas. And that's going to be a part of the story too, how all these Texas high school coaches are all tied together. And the reason you guys are going to be very successful there in San Marcos. But before we move forward, we have to give a shout out to Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency, a Longhorn legacy, Westlake OG, if you will, and took over his dad's business. By the way, his dad was a Heisman finalist for the Longhorns back in the day. And Jimmy Saxton, for all of your insurance needs, from auto to home, everything, he's got you covered. And he makes you feel like David Bailiff does, like family, just truly laid back, true Texan as it is. And we thank Jimmy for being the OG, the number one first sponsor way back 3 years ago. And I think Jimmy would remember when you were playing, your coach, Jim Wacker, and correct me if I'm wrong, your senior year was one season shy of that first of two national championships, right?
Right. We won the conference that year. And I tell you, we'd have won it all. I have a linebacker's name that I will not say. We had a team beat at the end of the year. And about 10 seconds later, he hit the quarterback and we got a penalty, and they kept how we lost her. It may have been 3 years in a row, but he's been excommunicated from the Bobcat family. Anyway, but I can tell you what, I love Coach Wacker. He was such an incredible man, and just nothing but energy. You know, he'd tell us no bad days, and he wouldn't let you have one. He wasn't going to have one. And, you know, I still remember right before he passed, Lil and Coach had us all to their house in San Marcos, and it was a Thanksgiving spread. And at 10 o'clock, Coach Wacker got us all together. And I'm talking about guys flew in from New York, West Coast. They were from all around the country to come tell him goodbye and thank him. And he called us all together at 10 and said, you know, you don't feel sorry for me. You feel sorry for those kids at MD Anderson. I've had the 4 F's. I got tremendous faith. I got a tremendous family. Faith, family, friends, and football. And, you know, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. And he walks off and he gets out of sight. And we hear him holler, but I believe in miracles, baby. And that's the last words I heard that great man say. But he was amazing. I had my twins to his house that evening. And he opens the front door and he's in long tube socks, you know, pulled all the way up to his knee. He's got a camera around his neck. He's telling me, get my family together. This is going to look great in my scrapbook. I'm thinking, he's not dying. He's taking pictures for his scrapbook.
Love it.
Anyway, he was amazing. He taught us all. He taught us so much. And, you know, it was important to him. We graduated. It was important for him for us to be good people way before they even tracked graduation rates. He was making sure we all took care of business. And I love him a lot.
To this day, his legacy lives through you and several other former Bobcats. And it's amazing because back then you guys were Division II, but you know, there were some Division III powers, but you guys were so close, as you said, to possible 3, maybe a 4-peat. But that being coached by him, the late great Coach Wacker, really played a big role in your coaching career. I mean, when you think about all of the places that you've been and been able to coach, how do you summarize that? Because you and I are, well, I guess I can say we're all in a people business. It's all about networking and relationships, right?
There's no doubt, you know, and it's, you know, I was blessed to have 2 coaches in college, 2 head coaches. The one that recruited me, that was a very good man, but was not, he was old school, kind of quit learning. And then you get Jim Wacker in here who shows you how to do it with energy and character. And he was into analytics. You know, we knew every 42 veer made this many yards. I mean, 46 veer made this many yards. And what was really crazy is I thought I was a tight end. I was number 88. And I think I was looking back now, I was really an outside tackle. I think they threw me the ball once a game to keep me from quitting. But he was incredible, you know. And I've been so fortunate to be around some of the masters of this game. Like, I've learned so much from Jim Wacker. I learned so much from Mac Brown. I learned so much from Spike Dykes, you know. And I had access where I could pick up the phone when I was a young head coach and I'd call them. And they were always authentic and transparent with me, and told me if that was a good idea. They thought I was crazy, but I'm a huge Mac Brown and Spike Dykes fan.
2 great men, and I hated that day when we all found out we were losing the great Spike Dykes. That was, you know, it's inevitable, but it's just, that tells you right there, for someone like me, the only tie I have to him is through people like you. And then, of course, Stephen F. Austin, his ties there. But you have mentioned several times.
Hey, hang on. I got to bring this up. Did you know Spike Dykes' first university was Rice?
Was it really?
There for 1 semester. He came to my golf Rice every year. And he'd tell the same stories that he didn't find it academically challenging enough to go get a proper education.
That's Coach Dykes. Rice it's not tough enough. They should have improved their academics. It is a falsehood.
That was his story. He's sticking to it.
I love that picture right there. I'm going to remove the graphics here because of the name, but right there, lower right, I believe it's 2005 season. It gave proof not only to you and graduates of after the name change of Texas State that people will come. People will support that program. You guys made it to the round, I think the third round of the 1AA FCS playoffs, correct?
That's correct.
Describe that whole, I mean, it was unreal. I was watching it from afar.
You know, it was really magic. It was one of those years our motto was we lived for each other. And it truly was where this football team lived for each other. You know, it was one of those where no problems at my desk. The seniors took care of it. We had great senior leadership. We had great love on that football team. Nobody wanted to let each other down, coaches, players. You know, it becomes magical. Then you got an unbelievable quarterback like Barrett Neely. And, you know, then you got an unbelievable defensive lineman like Fred Evans, who played 10 years for the Vikings. But it was just a fun year. Probably the most fun I've ever had.
Barrett Neely, he's coaching now. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's the assistant head coach at UTEP.
Is that right? I didn't realize okay. That's wow.
About every 2 weeks.
And they're changing things. They're turning things around in El Paso right now with Dana Demo, correct?
Correct. Yeah, Dana's a good man too.
It's amazing. And you know what? That kind of is a great, smooth segue. The Texas High School Coaches Association is perhaps, I want to go ahead and say it, the strongest high school coaching group in high school football in the country. But it is imperative that every coach, college coach, develops relationships with these guys. And for someone who has been a part of it, I guess from both sides, and on your side now, even as a special assistant at Texas State, how do you, I mean, these relationships, for those who don't understand, how does it benefit a college program?
Well, you know what, when they know you're going to take care of their players, they won't make a decision, but they're not going to tell you, where to go, but they will tell you where not to go. And once they realize that you realize those players are their treasures and they're going to take care of you, then they're going to help them. It also helps you in the portal. When a kid decides he wants to come home, that they're going to say something great about Coach Kinne, you know, and this staff. We had Joe Martin came out to practice last week with all his assistants. It's the second time he's been to a Bobcat practice since I was here.
Whoa. So
it's great. They're coming around, and GJ's been out to their office a couple times.
And that's in San Marcos, their headquarters.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, so it's good to see them around, and, you know, they're a good resource for us.
Yeah.
And that they'll help you, you know, that helps you in your recruiting when you have a great relationship. You know, I'm going to tell you, I see now a picture of Joey McGuire.
Yeah.
I know why he's such a great fit, because he's a former Texas high school coach, and they're going to want him to see successful. Jeff Traylor at UTSA, same thing, former Texas high school coach. They're going to want to see him successful. GJ Kinne, dad, high school coach, player in the state of Texas. Then you flash forward to Baylor was bad for 2 decades because they kept hiring guys that weren't good fits in the state of Texas.
Right.
They hire Art Briles, and the program takes off. That's just how the state of Texas works. You know, Mac Brown was great at Texas because he had that Southern charm. You know, we'd have thought he was from Texas. But that's, you know, that's how it works. You just can't go hire somebody that doesn't have good relationships with Texas High School Association.
That's the absolute truth, and it's a proven track record. I mean, you can go back as far as the Southwest Conference days, and you have to have those relationships. And, you know, I just think it's amazing how your return, and you just tied in your relationship with GJ when he was the quarterback at Tulsa, and he went on and played in the NFL a little bit, came back. And, you know, I know I'm an SFA guy, but I've always thought Texas State is one of those programs that at some point was going to be relevant on a national level at some, you know, or a traditional bowl type program. But to your point, here's GJ when he talked about, and he just adds to what you said about that relationship with the high school coaches.
That relationship has to be really good. And so having Coach Bailiff here is huge. He's been awesome. and just really thankful for those guys that they came out to practice, and that means a lot to our guys, and it means a lot to the Texas high school coaches around. So it's that was really cool for them to come out here and show us on social media. I mean, that's what it's about.
That picture he's talking about is I think there were 6 of you, Joe Martin, Coach Kinne, out at Bobcat Stadium. I mean, it's to show that it was unreal. I mean, to me, it's powerful.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is I go back when Coach Rutledge was the president of the Texas High School Coaches Association, and he was one of my coaches here, and so I helped the Texas High School Coach Association moved out of Austin to San Marcos.
Wow!
When they mailed out an envelope, I wanted everybody to read it was San Marcos. You know, I really thought that would help us in recruiting. So I met with the mayor and with those guys and tried to get them some tax breaks. And anyway, they're special friends. Joe Martin and I go back. He was the head coach at Maybank, and East Texas was dry. You're old lumberjack. You remember that? East Texas was dry. And poor Coach Martin had a carport, so I'd steal a 6-pack of beer when I was heading into hear it. I go back and he goes, "I know you've been here, Bailiff. I got a 6-pack missing."
First off, I didn't know about them. I always wondered why they were in San Marcos, their headquarters, and that is brilliant on your part. A story I was not aware of at all. That's amazing. That's brilliant because this tells people who are watching or listening, it is a powerful organization. And
it is. I mean, it is. It's like the Avatar movie. You know, they're all connected. You make one of them mad, and they may excommunicate you. You know, lose your birthright in a hurry. You know, that's why you better be honest with them.
Yeah,
they're not pull a scholarship from them. When I was at Rice, one of my best recruiters was at another school because he'd pull scholarships from them. And so I knew I was going to get the phone call, and then he'd get banned from that campus. Wow. I was sad when he left because I thought, God, he's our best recruiter. We get all these great recruits at the end because he pulls their scholarships.
God, man, that's hilarious. You go ahead and pull that over there. We'll take him. You know, you will be banned from Texas high schools.
Yep.
Make our job that much easier.
It was a beautiful.
The next guy, 91 years old, we lost Gil Brandt, and I know he wasn't really on Texas high schools or Texas college, but for the Dallas Cowboys, a mastermind of relationships with college coaches. And I thought whenever he spoke, it was brilliant and profound because he just saw something in individuals that most didn't. I mean, what was your relationship like with Gil Brandt?
You know what? He was so good to me. And I was so shocked the first time he walked up to me and knew who I was.
Wow.
Just kind of go, how does this guy know who I am? You know, so, you know, he was one of those guys you just look so forward to seeing at a convention or because he was so good. He was so good to everybody. You know, his not only was his IQ brilliant, his social IQ was brilliant. And that's what made him so special.
It's hard to, I had to tell myself it's not sad because my God, 91 years accomplished more than I don't know. He had a great life, and he's one of what we would call one of those Dallas Cowboy OGs, back from Tex Schramm to way back. And it's amazing to see and him to be a member of the Hall of Fame like that, or at the Hall of Fame. It's unreal. And it's, many prayers to the Brandt family because he's one of the major reasons the Dallas Cowboys are America's team.
Yeah, no, really about it. They marketed that well, and he was all that.
Coach, you've got a ton of great stories that I would love everybody to hear. But if there is one man cave story that is as amusing today as it was when it happened, can you even narrow it down to one?
I'll narrow it down to this one. My wife's Kevin Sumlin was going to spend the night at the house, right? And he and I have been buddies forever and ever and ever. And so he's going to spend the night at the house. And she said, I need new sheets. We got to get new bath mats. I said, Angie, it's Kevin. She goes, yeah, but he wasn't a former coach of A&M in Arizona. And so she said, we're getting new sheets, new bath mats. I said, whatever, if that's what we got to have. I said, but anyway, so in the morning, I'm over there drinking coffee, and Kevin rounds the corner in his Fruit of the Looms, and he said, I want you to know it wasn't me that crapped all over your bathroom mats. And I said, what? Our 3 dogs had gone in that bathroom and had a poop fest. I rolled that old bath mats up, just threw them away, and went in the bedroom. And I said, Angie, you're not going to believe this. I said, you know all those new bath mats you bought? And she said, yeah. I said, the dogs had a poop fest. I said, they were poop. And she said, I just threw them away. I said, it was that bad. Okay. Kevin's going to tell anybody? I said, I think he's going to tell everybody, Angie, because it's pretty unbelievable. I said, we just wasted lots of money on them back.
Man,
anyway,
money back at Target.
What's crazy is you get around coaches, they can tell stories, forever. But that's a good one I got, and I got plenty more if you ever call me back.
Oh, you've got at least 100 dozen, and those dogs are trying to blame that on Coach Summer.
Right, I got 2 Cocker Spaniels in a lab, and they just took turns. I do not know why, but they had a field day on those bath mats that were special for Coach Sumlin.
Oh my God, man, that is not right. Coach Sumlin trying to have dogs blame something on him. I apologize, man. I feel sorry for him. Hey, we're going to go ahead.
I got to get this out there too. You know who Tyron Carrier is?
I've heard the name.
He was the great receiver at U of H, was on the West Virginia staff with Dana. He was on my staff. His sister-in-law just passed away, and he went from 3 kids to 7. And so there's a Carrier GoFundMe that if you imagine your life getting – there wasn't a man in their life, so now he's adopting 4 other children. So whatever you do to spread that word to help out. Great.
Coach Carey, you know what? We'll place that on social media. That is tragic.
Yeah.
It's never – wow. I can't imagine. You already – a man or a woman has responsibility for their own children, but it takes a lot for an individual to – all right, you're coming into our family now.
Good.
We're going to take a quick break, but on the other side, Coach Kinne talks about shocking the world, and that's coming up on the other side of this break.
If you're going to dream big, you better dream bold, and he does.
That's it. 97 years of good times, comfort food, and familiar faces. Dirty Martin's Place is a true Austin original, just like yours truly. An ideal marriage with stories inside the Man Cave podcast. It's like taking a step back in time. Old Austin. And the food? So good. Those classic burgers, the wings are severely underrated, those delicious shakes, and be sure to ask if they will ever bring back the Fruity Pebbles shake. Trust me on that. And those cold, refreshing adult beverages. You'll love it, plus you'll be entertained by these Dirty's legends. Tell Daniel and the Dirty's crew you love stories inside the Man Cave podcast, and you want to keep Austin dirty. And be sure to sign the petition to say no to Project Connect. Dirty Martin's, where they've got the burger flipping tricks since 1926.
We're getting ready to play a football game, a violent game, and versus a very good Big 12 opponent, very well coached. Great opportunity for us to go out there and shock the world.
Bailiff,
Yes, sir.
A burger from Dirty's and thinking big. You guys opening the season. Coach Bailiff, the special assistant to first-year Texas State head coach GJ Kinne, going to Baylor on the road. I couldn't think of a better place to start the year than in a
No, you know what?
environment.
He's really excited about it.
Yeah.
It gives you an indicator when you play an opponent that's good like Baylor. It lets you know week one where you're deficient, what you need to change, be it in special teams, be it in some offensive schemes or defensive schemes. You find your deficiencies in a hurry. Whereas if you play somebody you're really super superior, then there's no learning lessons. But like I said, Coach Kinne's bold. He's dreaming big. He's not afraid to talk about it. And I think you got to dream big if you want big things to happen. And like I said, he's a very bold head coach.
Yeah, I like what I see so far, and it's again, I just felt like for many years, I know Coach Fran took over when they made the transition to FBS, and it's been a program that's been so close,
right?
And even during the COVID years with Jake, but I think right now you guys have been a program long enough to where and leadership change. I think you've got alignment.
It's unbelievable you said that, because GJ is incredible. Our athletic director is now incredible. Our president, Dampus, is out of this world incredible. So there's tremendous synergy coming out of this athletic department to the very top of the university. And that hasn't been here in a long time. And anywhere you go, the AD's there. Anywhere you go, you see the president and his wife, Beth, there. I mean, they are truly trying to build a university. And I think that's all their goals is, that we're all in this together with the community, with the university. And it makes it a very special time. I have never been around a president that works and is visible. He's getting on the bus with us.
Yeah.
To go to the game. I've never had a president get on the bus. I think, oh, that's way cool.
It's much different.
Usually jets or something, they don't.
I think you've got two of the great ADs in the game right there close. Del Conte and Camphouse and each of the new Texas State leadership. I think there's some good things.
Yeah, Del Conte is the guy that hired me at Rice.
Oh, that's right. I didn't. Wow.
Remind him I was the adult in the relationship. I had to keep him cornered. I love that man too. He is a special athletic director.
He has good fashion too.
Oh, it's unbelievable. When he went to TCU, he wore that new Italian suit every day at Rice. So he comes into me and says, "What'd you think about TCU?" I said, "Chris, I really enjoyed my time there. Love the people." I said, "But you'd be a bad fit." And he, "Why is that?" And I said, "Because they wear jeans and boots." And 2 days later, he's at TCU, and he's got. First time I took him, we were going to ride in the rodeo, the grand entryway.
Yeah.
And he hits my office and says, "Coach, I need you to take me to get one of them cowboy costumes." And I said, "Chris, I don't believe they're not cowboy costumes. That's actually what the Cowboys wear." So I took him into Cavender's, got him cowboyed up so he could ride in the grand entryway. He's a special man.
He is. Coach, we're running out of time. We got time for one more segment, and this is how I like to end it, with positivity.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
No, it is the best time of year. But any day you get to spend with Coach Bailiff and talking about some great things that are taking place in San Marcos. Tell me something good from your perspective, Coach Bailiff.
Well, I tell you what's good is I think football's the greatest game in the world. And I think it's what's going to lead this country and continue to lead it to greatness, because it does duplicate life. Life is hard. They don't teach you that in college, you think. Football teaches you that's hard, and you're ready for those challenges when you graduate.
I love that. Spoken like a man who has experienced and knows what he's talking about. And Coach, I'll have to send you the TikTok video that I promised you in this video. You'll probably laugh all the way to Waco. We just didn't have enough time, but you tell Coach Kinne, everybody, best of luck today, because people will see this Saturday morning, and you guys will be in Waco.
You tell the people too. This world's got plenty of smart people. We need more kind people.
More positivity.
Yep, love it. You have a great. I have enjoyed this more than you know. And
I look to.
And I'm gonna call Jim Sexton next. Try to make him a Bobcat fan.
Hey, he'll do it. He will. He's not afraid. Hey, for Coach Bailiff and the Texas State Bobcats and the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Hards, Big Mike, and Coach Mo, we are out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.